Welcome to Modern Dad Page's first vlog. If I seem nervous, it's because I definitely am. Really not used to talking into a camera by myself, and so be patient. They will get better as time goes on. I plan on doing a lot more, and yeah. So for my first vlog, what I did was I decided to do a viewer interactive and have people ask me questions, and I've definitely got some good ones to answer. So my first one comes from Zaz at Mama and More. She asked me to talk about my decision to be a stay-at-home dad and how other people react to it. Well, my decision to be a stay-at-home dad had been kind of years ongoing. I'd always wanted to start my own business so I could spend more time with my kids. And in July of 2007, I had finally decided that, and I walked into my job and I gave my notice, and that was pretty much it. 2 days later, they escorted me out, and I was on my way to start my own business. So July of 2007, I've been home since then. So it's been quite a while. I've loved being at home. That's a definite. Been able to spend a lot of time with my kids, do things with them that I would have never got to do had I stayed working, and walked a mile in a stay-at-home's shoes and learned a lot along the way about myself and about what it's like to be a stay-at-home. Your next question was the best and worst or weirdest reactions. Well, the best, probably the best was actually just recently was one of the dads. He'd emailed me and asked what I did from home. So I told him, and just so everybody knows, what I do is I sell poles, like light poles, traffic poles, basically any kind of steel pole. So it's an odd job, definitely. But I've been doing it for so many years now, it's normal for me. And anyways, his reaction is, wow, I would love to be able to do that. And that's my best reaction so far, because I think he's one of those dads that's really considering staying at home, or would love to stay at home and spend time with his family. Worst or weirdest reactions? Probably my worst and weirdest reaction would have been one of the dads at school, when he just turned to me after he asked what I did, and I told him. Most of the time, just so you know, most of the time I don't actually tell people that I work from home. Usually what I do is I just tell them that I'm a stay-at-home, and that way I can get a good judge of what their thoughts are of me. And this dad, when I told him I'm a stay-at-home dad, he looked at me, he said, "Why would you want to do that?" And then within about a minute, he'd found somebody else to talk to, and he'd wandered off. So obviously he didn't really appreciate what I was doing. Anyways, yeah, that's probably the worst and the weirdest. The next question comes from Mom Aspire, and she said, what is one piece of advice you would give other dads who are thinking of taking the plunge into staying at home with the kids? Well, probably my one piece of advice would be to tell them to at least take 1 week off from work and plan on doing everything that a parent would normally do when they stay at home. And that includes waking up early, making breakfast, cleaning the house, doing laundry, literally everything. If you don't know what that is, get a list. It's a lot. And usually you start in the morning from when you wake up, and it doesn't stop till your head hits the pillow at night. There's always something going on, whether you're cleaning up that last dish or whatever. Always something going on. So, best piece of advice, take a week off, try it, see if you like it. If you like it after a week, or you think you can handle it after a week, then you might be cut out for it. But if you don't, then you're definitely gonna get a learning lesson out of it, and you'll learn what it takes to actually stay at home and how hard the work really is. So that would be my piece of advice to anybody that's considering that. Next question comes from Honest Mum from Honest Mummy. She said she'd love to hear about any challenges, and of course the joy of being a stay-at-home dad. The challenges are the time I spend alone, because I don't really fit into anybody's box because I'm a male. I stay at home. I do laundry. I work. I make dinners. I spend a lot of time with the kids. And even with other stay-at-home mums from school or whatever, you don't really fit in because you're male. They tend to like to stand alone and talk and huddle in their little groups. The dads, you'll get a few of them that talk to you and on a regular basis, but not very many, because they're not interested in hearing about what you had to clean up that day or whatever else you had going on, wherever you had to run. They're not that interested because they get that at home. So yeah, that's probably the biggest challenge, is just sometimes it can get pretty lonely being a stay-at-home dad. So the joy of being a stay-at-home dad, I get all the time I want with my kids. That's the biggest one. I do love them, and I spend a lot of time with them. I coach their soccer teams. I do a lot of stuff, and I drive them around wherever they need to go. So the time that I spend with them, priceless. I wouldn't change that for anything. Next question comes from Michelle Reeves from, now don't kill me if I say this wrong, but Bod for Tea. I'm not sure if I said that right. Anyways, she asked, what's your best and worst moments so far of being a stay-at-home dad? Well, let's start with the worst ones. Probably the worst ones is when the kids are all having a bad day and my day turns into a bad day, and we end up running into each other and having scraps all day long. And that does happen when you're all crammed into a house and can't get out of each other's way properly. So yeah, those are probably the worst moments, because a lot of stuff can, a little bit of screaming here and there, everybody knows what that's like. I know I don't have to explain that one, but yeah, that's probably the worst moments. Best moments are definitely when we're clicking as all together. There's every week we have 2 soccer practices and soccer games Saturdays and Sundays, and so this household is a soccer family, that's for sure. And we all enjoy it, and when we're out and about and we're having fun, and yeah, it's good. So the next question, oh wait, sorry, she also asked, what's my favorite moment of the day? My very most favorite moment of the day is 8:30, and that's after I've dropped the kids at school and I come home. The house is dead quiet, nobody's home, and all I have to do is do my work on my blog. I can clean the house, turn the music on, whatever it is I have going. From 8:30 to 11:30, that's just time to myself, time where I can think, figure out things, get things done around the house. It's great. I love it. Those are my favorite 3 hours a day. All right. So my last question came from Kate at Pouting and Heels, and she'd love to hear about the reactions that I get from other dads. Well, Other dads can be, for the most part, they just seem like they just don't care. Some dads, they just shrug it off and honestly kind of stray away because they don't want to hear, again, as I was getting into that before, about my day of, I woke up in the morning, I did a bit of work, and then I did a load of laundry, made the beds, did the dishwasher, emptied that, filled it up again. That's the stuff that they hear when they go home. So most of them don't want to hear about that. Some dads, they can get a little ignorant, and they'll ask, why did you get laid off? Or, as that other fellow did, why would you want to do that? That's probably 96% of dads either don't care or they just kind of rude about it. I give it like a very small percentage, 4%, maybe if that actually want to talk to you about it and find out more about it, find out why you did it. There's very few that actually ask questions. So the reactions, for the most part, they just don't care. They don't want to hear about it. All right. Well, thank you for tuning into Modern Dad Page's first vlog, and there'll be more, and I'll stutter less and I'll be less nervous as they go on. So I hope you enjoyed this one anyways, and they will continue. Thank you very much.